Do we have observability here? Hopefully. All right. Look, thank you, and thanks for that wonderful session, Jim and Anthony. That was awesome. The only thing I would say is please keep making your products open source. We love them. That's great for us. Look, I don't do this a lot. Actually, probably this is only the second time, so I was a bit nervous, but Chris promised me a lot of awesome swag. That's why I'm here. I got the swag, I was about to leave, but then they stopped me at the door. They said, no, you have to do this. I'll try and be quick. I know there's a lunch break coming up. So a little bit about myself. I am part of Atlassian, the little company. I'm an engineering manager over there. I look after a team called Observability Insights. So this was a team which is where we started focusing on observability, not as a platform, but we started looking at how can we solve some of the actual user problems over there. We started looking at what are the kind of issues that teams run into. And we started partnering with some of the teams over there internally at Atlassian, like the engineering team and the SRE team and the support team. And what our goal was to reduce the time it takes to troubleshoot issues. That was the main focus that we wanted to have, or the impact that we wanted to have. Before I continue, maybe just a show of hands. Have you ever found yourself, in the middle of an incident where you don't have a clear idea of what the problem is or where it lies? Maybe show of hands. Right? Almost everyone, right? So when I joined Atlassian 3.5 years back, I volunteered to become an incident manager, and I jumped onto an incident in the middle of the night, and my God, I had no idea what the heck was going on, right? There was all these weird names, and the graph you showed about 1,000 microservices, because Atlassian moved from on-prem to cloud very quickly. Speed of delivery, like you were talking about, and it was just a mess. So even getting the right team took almost like an hour, and before you could actually find, okay, what is the right team, and then they took their own time trying to figure out where the problem is. So that's what we actually started to focus on, right? Like we wanted to make it faster for teams to be able to reduce all the MTT stuff, right? Time to engage, time to hot, time to reduce, time to mitigate, and the golden one, time to root cause. And our strategy over there was we wanted to partner with certain teams rather than just building something in a bubble, because Atlassian's a big company, people are doing different things. And that's why I'll talk more about how we partnered with them. There were a couple of challenges. I won't go through all of this slide, just to keep it short. But the big ones over there were, there's a lot of business units within Atlassian, and they could go and do their own stuff, a lot of reinventing the wheel, siloed knowledge. That made it extremely hard when it came to when you're in the middle of an incident or when you're a support user trying to figure out what's wrong. It could be a front-end error caused by a back-end service 8 or 9 layers deep. So we wanted to break those silos by providing a standardized set of dashboards and workflows. Data quality issues was another big problem. We talked about OpenTelemetry. Atlassian, we had to do a lot of work to get OpenTelemetry implemented across all the services, across all the pipelines. We are still doing it because there's a lot of legacy code, as is usually the case with a lot of these companies. There's a lot of data, a lot of noise that we again had to go and instrument and fix. And cost and UGC and PII concerns made our solutions reduced what solutions could we use. So we had to go with the self-hosted solution where we could store the data within Atlassian. Why Grafana? So it's actually a very interesting journey. I think we've been partnering for over 3 years now. We started with a small open source project with just 4 or 5 of us, and we said, hey, we're going to try Grafana. This is why we want to use Grafana, because of its flexibility. It's open source, so you don't have to start with, hey, I want to buy this product and go through a complex contractual agreement. It integrates really well with existing tools. Like we use almost everything you can think of at Atlassian, and Grafana is really good, and you can write plugins as well. Recently, we've been scaling it like crazy. It's extremely scalable. I'll talk a bit more about the high cardinality metrics and the tracing data that we've been storing at Atlassian. And again, a big plus is there's no vendor lock-in, right? Like you can move anytime. Not that we want to, but that's again a really plus point. So internally, what we built on top of Grafana is what we are calling OpsDeck. It's basically short for observation deck. We also have a logo. I should have put it over here. That would look very cool. So OpsDeck is basically, instead of having dashboards, what we've been doing is building opinionated workflows. So what we wanted to do is, rather than coming in and showing you, our teams basically have looking at specific dashboards, we wanted our users to go in and look at certain workflows and take them through a journey so they can actually figure out where the problem is happening and cut down their troubleshooting time. So the two use cases that we picked, the first one of them was support, which is a bit strange when you think about observability. What does support have to do with observability, right? So support at that time, 2 years back, they were looking at reducing their troubleshooting time. So they were looking at logs. It used to take them a long time to triage issues, figure out what is the right team, where is the problem. We were looking for a partner where we had this vision. We said, okay, we're going to build this solution on top of Grafana and use tracing data and other insights to help troubleshoot faster. So that partnership was born. And we built an opinionated workflow for the support users, where we used tracing data to build them like an end-to-end transaction view, and we integrated with our existing systems. We provided them, error code mapping, so you could actually look at the error code and you can actually see the troubleshooting steps. And it was a huge success. Like we rolled it out we started building on it last year, and we've just finished rolling it out for Jira, JSM, and Confluence. And we are seeing really measurable impact on the reduction of troubleshooting time. So our plan is that we're now going to roll it out to the rest of Atlassian products. One thing I wanted to call out here is the Atlassian scale, because of our nature of the data and the systems, we had to build our own custom tail sampling algorithm. So that's very important when you do tracing. How much data do you want to sample? You can't sample all the data because that just makes it too expensive, and cost is a big factor always. So that's something we did, and we've open sourced it as well. If any of you are interested, I think it's a good thing to look at. The second use case is our very ambitious use case, which we are currently working on. So we started working on this in late FY25, and we are still working on this, which is to solve the problem of troubleshooting during incidents. So how can you get to the point where you are reducing the time to engage, time to hot, time to mitigate, and also time to root cause? So I'll just share a couple of screenshots. They don't look as fancy as the ones from Grafana. I had to remove a lot of the stuff over there as well. But what we've tried to do is we've used the tracing data to stitch together the services, the critical dependencies on the call path of an experience. So think of an experience as when you view an issue in Jira, when you edit an issue in Jira, what are the services that are going to support that experience? And we pull in different sorts of metrics, telemetry information, like we pull in trace span metrics, we pull in telemetry data, we pull in logs, and SLO burn alerts, and all this information we present it in a view. So when you are an incident like me, you can actually go to this dashboard. For example, the customers are complaining, hey, my Jira issue view is broken. You can go over there and you can actually see what are the services that are broken, and then you can start digging deeper into what it could be the actual problem. And this is where domain knowledge could be useful. You might get a team which owns that specific service, and you can page them and say, look, I see higher rates for your service. Can you please go and investigate this? And again, they can have their own custom dashboard. We are not saying everybody needs to have the flexibility. What we are trying to do is centralizing this information in a standard way, so teams don't have to go and build their own dashboards, or there's one place where they can go and look at all the information. The last thing I wanted to show over here is kind of like a workflow of how it all fits together, because it's been a journey just getting to this stage. So like I said 3 years back, when there's a customer impact, we didn't even know if there was a customer impact, right? Like our customers would be calling us and telling us, hey, your Jira is broken, right? Go and take a look at it. What we've been able to do is, using the high cardinality metrics stored in Mimir, we have been able to now have real-time alerting. So when there's a customer outage, we actually get alerted before the customer, hopefully. And then we kick off a process which we call impact analysis, where we go and try and figure out what is the impact. Is it just located to a particular customer? How many experiences are broken? How many regions? And based on this information, we create an auto incident with the right severity. So normally we do it for SEF 2 and above, which is high severity incidents. Then we go and kick off another process which starts looking at what is the blast radius. So we look at what are the infrastructure events? Are there any errors coming from the SLOs? Are there any service level alerts? And we also look at tracing data. And we stitch this together using the dependency graphs from tracing to now identify what are the leaf nodes which could be erroring out. And once we identify the top 3 or 4 services, we actually page them as well before any human is involved. So all of this, if you think about it, like I mentioned earlier, this used to take us around an hour to get to finding the right team. So we've been essentially able to cut down that into less than a minute just using this data. And then, obviously, the human element has to be involved, right? Like, you can't do this without a human. So what we've gone is we've built on top of OpsDeck and Grafana, we've built certain workflows or portals. So we have something which we call an incident portal. So this is your one place where you'll go for everything related to an incident. You'll get all the links, you'll get the chat messages, you will be able to see who are the teams that have been paged, who is involved on the incident, what does the timeline look like. So and what are the related incidents or previous incidents that were related to this. We also have something which we call a tenant impact dashboard, which shows you the customer impact. So again, you can look at how many customers were impacted, is the impact increasing or decreasing, and this helps you make a call whether to raise the severity or lower the severity of the incident. And finally, site scan, the one I told you about, which is what we are banking on, being able to go that deeper when you're not sure where the problem is, so you'll be able to figure out what is the root cause analysis, and how do you troubleshoot where the fault is coming from. I think that's all I had, almost what I had for today. So just in terms of what's next for us, so we are looking at automating a lot of these insights. We've been using machine learning and AI. What we want to do is cut short this process even further. So right now, we want the human element to be involved still, but we want it to be smarter. So when a human logs into OpsDeck or SiteScan, they can actually see, hey, it's not just this service that has a problem, but it's because of high CPU count or threat saturation, which is caused by the change that was deployed, in the last hour, or maybe it's because of a feature flag that was enabled. So that's our dream, or the North Star that we want to reach to. So it just reduces the troubleshooting time completely. We still have to do a lot of standardization. This only works if you have really good data, even machine learning and AI. And we want to do richer service dependency graphs. So being able to answer questions like, how many of my call graphs are coming from different regions, or where is the highest latency coming from, and some more deeper things that we could look at. And I think that's essentially it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Talal. Just letting everyone know we're going to have afternoon tea outside, and we'll return back into this room at 3:40 for the engineering observability at scale across complex systems in financial services with Sean Moritz. So thank you, everyone.